I'm Olivia Canavan. I'm a potter and ceramicist living in Kingscourt, County Canavan. I have studied art, craft and design, specialised in fine and applied art, and then I went on to do the HTIP to become an art teacher. So I've been teaching for over 20 years and I love teaching art. It's exciting, it's different, it's new, and I love engaging with the young people and teaching and learning from them. But I'm also, as I said, a potter, and I did some pottery and ceramics in college, and there probably about 6 years ago I got back into doing pottery, and I specialise in functional contemporary tableware. So lots of pieces like, this is a new piece I created there last year, is a butter dish. So it's designed, it's a unique design here with a little leaf, and the handle is like the little stem of the leaf for the butter dish. A few little pieces as well that I have, like little pots here, used for tea or jam, or this little one is for like tea bags, and some of my cups then as well. These have been quite popular here because of the kind of contemporary style handle, and the colour is quite earthy and reflective of our local environment. I've kind of been always doing some art while I've been teaching as well. And I suppose I got back into it when, in a big way, is that when I did up the studio here, to have my own space to put the wheel, and I could come up here and design and create separate from the house. So that was a great bonus, you know. But I've also been in different artist-based community groups, you know, and in particular there's one, the Olivia Creative Hub. I've been a member of that now for a few years, and it's a great way to meet people and share ideas and to network and, you know, get, I suppose, support as well. So that has been really good. And I suppose where my inspirations comes from is usually to do with colour and mood and colour and pattern. And a lot of what my inspiration would be from nature and my environment. So this large bowl here, this one is actually cutaway design in the centre, and the actual outside of it is based on trees from Dunnery Forest Park here beside us. So it's quite a large piece, and then I cut out the negatives to show kind of the space between the branches. So that was one piece that was certainly inspired by locality. This one here, these are my pourers. So the blue is on the inside to kind of make it eye-catching, and it's a speckled kind of colour like what you'd get, I suppose, on the beach and different things in our environment as well. So I like the contrast as well between colours. The blue and the white kind of is eye-catching. For pieces like that. And then this piece here, this was a piece I did in direct response to lockdown. So this is stay at home. So it's typed here into the piece of clay. And this was because we usually go on holidays to Spain as a family. And this is a piece where I kind of looked at the sun, or the lack of sun that we had, the waves, the shells, and the fish, and these little cutaways sections here representing the waves. So sometimes I can take an idea like that and just go with it, you know, and create a piece of work based on something that's quite topical or political. And again, depending on how I'm feeling, on what I'm going to make and what happens with the wheel too. Yeah, so the clay, it has to be literally kneaded, first of all, to soften it up. And then it's put on the wheel, and then it has to be thrown up and softened before I actually throw a piece of pottery or tableware. And then when I throw it, I have to leave it, usually for maybe a day or two, depending on how dry it is. So the aim is for the leather hard clay, and then I have to put it back on the wheel, and I have to turn it, so turn the bottoms of the pieces. And when you turn them, then they create, you know, a softer base, and it's more formed and shaped. So do that, then you have to let it dry out for a couple of days and add any slip or decoration at that stage to it as well. Put it in the kiln. The kiln takes about 24 hours to fire depending on the temperature. Take it back out when it's cooled, obviously. glaze it, 3-4 layers of glaze. You put it back in again to the kiln and you fire it again for another 24 hours. So, you know, the whole process could take maybe about a week and a half, 2 weeks, depending on the size of the work. So big pieces would take longer to do and dry out, obviously. So you have to be very careful that you let them dry, the clay dry out before you put them in. Just from my own point of view, I think it's important just to make time for your own work. It is important if you're a creative person, and I think everybody is, no matter what it is, that you have a little bit of time just to think, to make and design or problem solve or be critical in your thinking. For me, what it is just not to give up and keep going. Even if it's only 1 hour in the week, 1 hour in the day, whatever you can have something beside you in the house, your sketchbook or your clay, or, you know, if you have your own space, you can come and you can have a little bit of time to yourself just to do that. And I think as well, maybe to network, to get in with a group of people, or, you know, meet with other people that are like-minded. I think it can give great social contact and keep people motivated to do a little bit of work and maybe do some collaborative pieces and exhibitions. And I find that's probably what works for me, mostly, you know. So yeah, it's a definitely a positive thing and very good for well-being in general. Working with clay itself is hugely therapeutic, and all the qualities, the tactile qualities and everything, is very good for, you know, your emotional well-being, your hand-eye coordination. But as well as that, it can be frustrating, because you might have an idea in your head of what you want it to be and want it to look like, but it mightn't turn out like that. It could just be a big flop. I could get a warp in it and you start again, you know. But really what I think with the clay and pottery in particular has taught me is that, you know, you have to slow down. You have to take your time and you have to kind of focus on what you're doing. It's not something you can really rush, you know. So it's very good for just that sort of sense of focus and concentration, you know, that we need sometimes, just to stop and to think about what we're doing instead of all the other things maybe that's going on for us at that moment.